y'all, my bold people. Happy to have you here. Oh my gosh, welcome to Bold Voices. I'm Angela Bel Camino. It feels like it's been a minute since I saw you all. A lot has happened. There's a lot to unpack. I guess I feel like we say that every show, every week. So happy to have you here to join the conversation. Please go ahead and share, repost the stream. We want to see as many of you bold people in the room as possible. What's up, Mr. Scott? Hey, yo. It's going to be a great night. Happy to be reunited with you guys and the awesome panel tonight. Thanks, Greek. I'm happy to see my people, the teams in the house. It's going to be great. So yeah, let's repost the stream, like it, subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. And we want to hear your bold voices in the chat, questions, comments, feedback, all that jazz. Tonight, the team is here. We've got Kevin Smith and Madeline Elizabeth. What's up, guys? And Madeline is looking tan. And I'm like, I thought I was getting tan in Florida, but this girl be showing me up.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, you're not seeing any. Well, I mean, I guess it is. I keep thinking New York is cold no matter what month it is.
No, it's just it's untannable weather here because it's wet and muggy and ugh.
Yeah, I'm like, for some reason in my head, it's still winter in New York, but it's obviously.
Plus, I have to get like a good 2nd degree burn in June, and then I can start tanning. I can't just like, oh, I'll just lay out and get some color. Oh, la-di-da. No, not like my work wife over here.
Yeah.
I get really dark if I see sun. So yeah, I went out like for a week last weekend at the pool, and I came back looking pretty brown.
I think in our little group chat we need to plan a trip down. You know what? We were talking about meeting in the middle. So instead of meeting in the middle, we'll just meet in Florida.
We need to meet in Florida. Yeah.
I mean, I'm down. I'm here, so it's easy for me. And I
think we're gonna have to get like a camera. I'm gonna we need to bring a camera person, because I think it would be really fun to have like a camera person like follow all of us around. I think the shit that we would say would be, I think we'd get some good hot takes.
We can do one of those like reels, like first beer, last beer.
Who lasted?
Yeah,
we will be the one that's red sitting there. I will be the one that lasted in the sun. Probably be the first to tap out from drinking.
Day drinking with bold voices.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody wants that.
And Justin will just be like the real dad, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I don't know about all this, guys." Well, probably be embarrassed. He'd probably act like you don't know us. He'd be like, "I don't know these people."
We need to find out what's going to happen. The more we talk about it, the more I want to make it happen. So you guys tell me the date. We'll chat and we'll figure it out, because I want to do it. I'm in 100%.
Or maybe you have everyone in Florida. Maybe we need to start polling. We need to start taking polls. Where should the bold crew meet? And we'll do like something fun if people actually go. We'll like meet you at the bar or something.
I mean, I do love that too. We talked a while ago on X about doing some sort of meetup. Like, I definitely think that that's missing. There's, obviously there's a lot of opportunities for us all to meet up with political events and such, but there has never really been like an X meetup or anything like that.
I feel like everyone has always tried to do I hate this phrase. I hate this word so much, but influencer, like meetup. Like whenever people are like, oh, well, you're an influencer. I'm like, no, I don't do makeup on TikTok. Like, I don't show my titties on online. I'm not an influencer. I actually do stuff. Like,
you like content creator better?
I don't know. That's like because now content creator. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a content creator. And it's like, oh, you have an OnlyFans,
right?
Well,
and like obviously, naturally, I do, but you know,
I just think that like a lot, like all three of us have been around like since prior to like this administration, and like kind of been given our opinions, whether people like them or not, since prior to a lot of this. I think we're going to see a lot of these content creators in this party or movement not fade away, but I just think that we're going to see them go a different way.
Oh, definitely.
Once the new, like by 2028, a lot of the faces everyone sees and knows, there's only going to be so many that like really stick around, I think.
You know what, though? I like that because it will look. There are so many people that have like political cred because they went viral once and they have 500,000 like Twitter followers, but don't actually know what. And there's so many of them. There's so many of them that don't actually. They're like interested in politics. I used to joke around that like before everyone was into politics, it was sports talk radio. So it would be like guys that played like JV baseball calling in to say what Derek Jeter did wrong. And it's like, well, you know, if I was Tom Brady, I wouldn't have thrown that pass. And it's like, well, you're not. So maybe stop. And right now we've got a lot of those people in politics that are like, you know, the problem is they didn't run their campaign correctly. And I just want to be like, oh, why don't you tell me what's the first thing you would do while running a campaign? Because I would love to sit back with a beer and watch you idiots try to, you know, corral votes in the, you know, 9th Ward of New Orleans. Like, you have no idea what you're doing. And it's troublesome because I've dealt with influencers on campaigns.
Well, a lot of them never registered a voter.
Never. They wouldn't know how to. I mean,
we also have some like really bad politicians. Like
I have 200 voter registration cards sitting behind me, within an arm's length.
It looks like remember what were those, like the scan sheets, like the ABCD, like
the Scantrons,
like SAT,
like Scantrons. That gives me like real PTSD from high school. And thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
PTSD.
No, I just think like that. There's both politicians and influencers, or just like people that the accounts on X, like some of the ones that go viral, they all copy each other, and none of them have real opinions. I feel like they're all just like the same message and like cheering on things that like I'm all for if you cheer on everything or disagree with everything, but like have somewhat of your own opinion in the tweet, or what's the point of tweet? Like, I don't care to retweet it.
Well, you could be Antonio Brown and just wait for a tweet to get 1 million views and then copy and paste the tweet like he does every. Antonio Brown, I had your back. And now you jack it. Do you really need the Twitter revenue, bro? Like, you made like 200 million in the NFL before you went insane. Like, before you went full like Kanye. Like, and I love that you tag me every time he does it, by the way.
Kevin's not salty about it at all.
Because I'm like, yo, like, I liked you, bro. And everyone knows there's like an unwritten rule on Twitter. You can steal up, but you can't steal down. Like on like I can steal from you, Angela, but I can't take from somebody with less followers. It's like an unwritten rule.
How does everyone feel about that? I mean, you make a fair point. But I'm sorry that I don't like it for anyone, really. It's like, be original, be yourself, right? Like,
no one's original online. I mean, shit, look at my profile picture. It doesn't look anything like me. Not that it's not touched up or anything. I didn't, have someone who knows how to use filters.
I think the best though are some of the people on X, not going to name names. We all know, because if you've been on X for a while, you were in spaces, all that, what people like from now. Everybody has their groups, but what people actually look like, the ones that use fake photos, and they'll never go on podcasts, or you see them once and you're like, if the world only knew what you really like looked like, you'd be like, I feel like you live a lie. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do it.
There is like I'm telling you, I remember the first time.
I literally died when I've met a few of them in person. I'm like, you're lying. That's not them. They're like, no, it is.
But you know what else? It's also height. So like, I mean, I'm 5'8", so like I'm not short.
So I tapped Kevin on the head.
I know. Basically. Like, I can't wait for you to pick me up. Like he's like you're gonna hold me like a baby. Like, but no, but like when you finally first see someone like when you because you only see like from here up, even on shows, and it's like I've run into people. I'm like, oh, you're like a grown child. Like you're a child with a beard, or like with this one over here, Sophie Cunningham, dunking. I feel like I would have got off the plane and just been like, whoa, like.
Yeah, height is a weird one. I mean, that one's when I got used to being on like TV and film sets. You see people on TV, you have no idea. That's just kind of but it's a whole other thing to catfish and like use all kinds of filters. And I wouldn't be able to live with it. Like I would be so stressed out and anxious that, people would uncover.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm too lazy to try to like live up to that, like live up to those.
Well,
like,
look, not everyone can look like you two, so some of us have to touch up our profile picture. No, but the first time I went to like an influencer party at like Turning Point or whatever with like because they do like a meetup with all the influencers.
That's some weird shit.
No, but like well, I haven't gotten invited to those Ashley Sinclair parties yet, but
Me neither.
I can't imagine why she got invited and I didn't. Maybe because the answer would have been different. But just saying. Please cut that out. I'm not trying to feel the wrath.
We're gonna clip that and take.
Oh yeah.
Best thing
You're
ever.
just trying to go viral again, Kev.
That's it.
I know what you want.
But like the first, like I'm telling you, the first time you see people, you're like, oh, you're not even remotely attractive. Like, I mean, but then there's some people that I'm like, oh wow, you're like, it's weird because it's like, you can see the ones that are 40 that are trying to look 20 in like their profile picture, and you see them in real life, and you're like, oh, you're like my mom. Like,
I'd rather be a pleasant surprise. Honestly,
I was pleasantly surprised when we met.
That's nice. And on that note, I love it. We need to hang out. I know, again, Mr. Scott, I guess is talking about you, Kev, because you're in the middle of trouble. The trouble.
Well, if I gotta be stuck in if this is a Kevin sandwich, this is a pretty good day for me. So
it's not
I'll take it.
I will.
What's up, Dave? Meet up in Northern Cali and help us take the state back.
Oh, nice. Yo, let's go to Northern Cali. Wine
Good
country.
luck with that. I've been in Northern California.
Start a Taze Kevin fund. If we reach the goal, we get to see Angela Taze Kevin stream. Jeez.
Actually,
it's a weird shit.
You know what's cool about that idea? If we did other things. Because why are we tasing Kevin? What are we doing here? What is this? I know the new Jackass movie is coming out, but like, no.
Oh my God. I know. I saw a preview for that the other day and I was pretty excited.
I don't even smoke weed, but I will tell you, I'm going to take a potato-sized edible before I go see that. Like, it's just like relive my youth.
It's not enough on its own.
No, I need to be induced.
Speaking of youth, today is Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's 40th birthday. That really killed me.
I know. Oh my God!
Like, I didn't know that.
My '90s life, I was just like, all right, can we go back to it? Because I feel really fucking old.
I walked into. So this is a funny story. I walked into a New Year's Eve party like 3 years ago, and they were like, a friend of mine works in Hollywood, and I'm roaming around the house, and I look down, and Danica McKellar is sitting on the couch, and. You need to know that I didn't handle it well. I freaked out. What
does freaking out look like? What did you actually do?
Literally, she was sitting on, like, imagine we're in a living room. She's sitting within like sound range of me. And I just went, can I ask you a question? Is that Danica McKellar? She heard me say it. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I need to go home now. Because if this is how my ear is starting and she's dying, I was like, I called her Winnie Cooper, like a jackass.
Was she nice about it?
She was really cool about it.
Yeah. Then it doesn't matter.
It was You know
It
what it's
sounds like she's cool.
You know what it's like to tell. You know what it's like to like have to look at someone and go, "I was in love with you when I was 7." Like it usually doesn't go well.
I mean, you can't be prepared for that moment, really. You
It's
know?
not. Believe me, it's not the first time she's heard it. I'm sure her,
No.
Topanga, the Pink Ranger, the one from Saved by the Bell. Like, I'm sure they're fully aware of what they did to.
Yeah, that's not her first rodeo, that's for sure.
No.
So you're fine. It's all good. All right, guys. Well, a lot has happened since we last talked. I missed you guys. I'm so excited to kind of talk about some things that have been going on. Madeline, we talked briefly yesterday, and from what I can tell, you are not too keen on the US-Iran peace deal, I believe. I think your exact words were, "It sucks. I don't know what the fuck we're doing."
I think it's extortion. It was my word.
But you said Kevin agreed with you. Was it on that? Okay. So what?
Kevin's like, I don't want to admit to that. I agree with Madeline.
No.
Well, I kind of put him on blast. So
No. Look, I think that there's still stuff that hasn't been released yet. On the deal, there's definitely some speculative stuff that if it's true, it's not good. Mostly the money aspect, because it's an extortion fee. We got pissed at the JCPOA that gave $2 billion to Iran. This one, the rumor is it's 324, which is bananas. So that we should have kept the war going. Like, we should have spent the range and bombed them back to the Stone Age. Like, at that point. But that would be a serious loss if that's the case. And JD Vance has been kind of cagey about it. I'll actually be with JD tomorrow. He's coming out to Long Island.
Ooh.
But yeah.
We can talk about The View. We're going to talk about that too.
Well, he's on an awesome I want to go on The View so bad.
I know you do. That's why I said it. I know. I was like, perfect for you to talk about.
But yeah, no, I think that if that 320, apparently it is from, quote, Gulf region, the Gulf region alliance. Although Qatar ain't giving them any money.
No way. And Iran came out and disputed it because they tried spinning it, and then the Gulf was like, and Iran was like, this was the deal. That is not true.
I will say that President Trump did something today that I've never seen an American president do. And it was, he took a shot at Israel in public, in front of the Gulf era states. Like, it was pretty wild. I've never seen, like, there's a Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman from the Times have been really on top of this. And Jonathan Swan is a great reporter. I think the New York Times is a shithole, but they probably pay the best, which is why he's there. About like the TikTok about how we got into the war in Iran, and every day they're releasing more and more stuff that like proves what a lot of people think happened. Right. And if it's what happened, this is going to be Trump's Bay of Pigs. Now, look, am I happy it's over? Yeah, I'm happy it's over. But they got to shit and get off the pot, you know?
I think the big thing was I think we never should have gotten into that war. I think we were walked into it. I think Trump thought we could get right out of it, or whatever happened there, he was either told a lie, believed he could get out of it somehow. I'm not sure what it was, but the truth is he was stuck, and nobody can tell me that like we won this war. They got to keep their uranium. Like there's a 2-month hold basically, where Trump, like basically the Trump's like, okay, open like the Strait of Hormuz, and we'll do, what was it? He said, we're going to release 24 billion today, like of their assets. And we're going to keep continuing to talk about this deal. And I'm like, that doesn't seem like we won. It just seems like Trump sees the writing on the wall that the economy can't handle it anymore. I mean, the Fed they're going to have to lower interest rates by 30, in my opinion, by 30 to 55 basis points just to keep the economy going if something doesn't change. And
well, I think Kevin Warsh is going to do that anyway, at least out of the gate. He's not, just because like Trump wanted rates down Kevin Warsh is not a hawk when it comes to those interest rates, but look, you know, we're in dangerous territory here, I think, when it comes to it. And like I said, I think that he got backed into it, not backed into the war. I think that they told him it was going to be like Venezuela, bingo bango. You'll get in, you'll get out. Because look, if you take everything else out of it, the Iranian people were protesting in the streets. They gave weapons to the Kurds, who were supposed to support the citizens rising up. Every time we've ever given anything to the Kurds, they never do what they're supposed to do. Every time, no matter what. So I think that he wanted a way out, and he took it. And
but we also know, like, there's a lot of people in Iran that are protesting this. Like, there are people, like, the Middle East is not happy about it. Like, they know we've bombed them. There's a lot of people that died that they kind of considered like God or, their leaders. And I think people are curious. I also think that it's very odd Trump's now taking hits at Israel. And all this stuff on Butler's come out. There's a lot of stuff that's come out recently. And it's interesting that's all going to be connected, because they always said Iran was what happened with Butler. But it's coming out that like FBI knew and had like crooks to like Homeland, like to FBI in DC. There's a lot of things that have been coming out about that. And everyone thought that had to do with the Iran war starting. But the question is, was Israel behind it?
I haven't looked into any of that, but
it came out through it came out like through FBI and Fox and Tucker. Like somebody released it, and then it caught fire. Mm-hmm. But I haven't looked enough into it either. But it's interesting because a lot of people thought that's why Trump hated Iran also.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I think, right, there's still a lot of questions because right now it's sort of this broad framework versus like there's still a lot of details that need to be ironed out. It's sort of like a framework, like roadmap, but there's still a lot of questions. I know, Kev, one of the things that you mentioned is like still with the nuclear program, like what's going, all of that, like you said, over the next 2 months is still getting ironed out. I think a lot of the concerns, like Israel, Lebanon, still a concern, what's going on with, and then it's kind of to your point, Madeline, is Iran getting too much? I think that's a concern a lot of people have out of this deal with the sanctions relief, access to frozen funds.
I mean, we're still the Taliban. Like when you just continue to, and then like during all this, I know we like went down and like there's stuff in Ecuador we've done. Like every time I turn on the TV, I feel like we're trying to take out bad guys in other countries right now. And I understand there's national security, but we got a lot of bad guys here too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just wish they would focus more on the domestic policy side of things. And look, not for nothing, we need to get this Iran war over with so that we can invade Cuba. Which is coming. I will say this though, let's be clear. If we take out the Castro regime, we're all meeting in South Beach. We're going to get like a pork sandwich with pickles on it, and we'll be drinking Modelo's. It's going to be a banger.
We have some, I do want to, any thoughts you guys have on this topic in particular, feel free to put it in the chat too, so we can kind of chat about it.
Your Twitter, your Twitter hack there.
Oh, Tangela El Camino?
Yeah. Has Kevin told anyone he's a lawyer yet today?
Oh.
Have I ever told anyone I was a lawyer?
I mean, not that I'm aware of. Madeline, have you heard that?
No.
Well, interesting nugget. I'm not.
Well.
But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. No.
Everyone
speaking of the 90s, yes, bring it back.
I'll take whoever likes me. I like you too. There you go. I'll take favorites.
Wait, who's saying you're the favorite?
Me.
Oh. Yeah, you're all right.
Oh. No, I just, I think it'll be really interesting how all this happens. And I was, DC 4th of July is going to be crazy. And I think that it's starting to get to where a lot of Americans are just really struggling, and Trump knows that. But I also think all the parties, like all the money and like for this 4th of July, 250th, I just think that it's so out of touch from where the voter is. And
Right.
I think that they don't know anymore how to strategically move this anymore, because they were able to prior to now, but it's just gotten they're too far gone, and the gaps are starting to widen. People with money, people with no money, it doesn't matter what demographic you are, everybody is struggling. Small businesses are struggling. And there's a lot of people that are pushing back on these AI data centers, and now the FBI came out and said, like, if you go against data centers, you're gonna be on the list. I'm on like 50 lists. I got added to like communist, like to so many lists on X. I'm like, might as well be added to FBI.
You gotta take yourself off of those. That's how you get mass reported. Kills your engagement.
I can't.
Well, you're gonna need to know this. You've got a book coming out.
Do. It's, near. I try to avoid. I don't even know. X just like doesn't. I like to get on Angela's show. That's about it.
Well, everybody likes to be on Angela's show.
It's the best. I love you guys being on the show. We have so much fun all the time. That's why I missed you guys. I needed to know what was going on in your heads.
I'm saying we got to pick we just got to buckle down, pick a weekend.
Mandolin, I think meaning Madeline, is cute. Not the best forehead in the stream, though. And people.
I'm telling you, I saw a girl with a giant forehead selling like hair filler things like this. And seriously, she looked like my Uncle Jimmy. That's how far I went back. And like, I was just like, oh my, you gotta get on that sponsorship, because you make the greatest forehead jokes in the world. Like, it's the greatest shit ever. I love it.
Thank you. It's fun. You got to do it. You got to take it back. You got to take it from the people. Zimas. There you go, Kev. There's a reference that I never had a Zima. I don't think they're still around, but I know of them.
I'm sure. Those were vile. I used to tell you funny. So before I had like an ID, I used to like always just steal them from the local grocery store, because they were the closest. They were the closest in the
because the shop was the least concerned about losing those.
No, it's because they were at the end of the alcohol cooler. So I would run and then just grab the last one and run out the door. Zimas.
Yeah, we need a commercial for that. That sounds like a good commercial.
It was a good time. It was a scene, man.
Was Zima sweet? I never had it. Madeline's too young to know about Zima.
Oh my God, they said shit posting. I thought that said something else.
Yeah.
I thought that said spit.
Yeah. Trangela just wanted you to know I'm just shit posting.
I really thought that said something else.
Okay, so back to anybody else in the chat about Iran thoughts. What in one word would you say captures your feeling about the situation right now? If you could give one word, about the situation.
Debacle.
Extortion.
Skeptical. That's like my word for everything right now. Chat clusterfuck. That's
That's accurate.
Right.
And look,
complicated.
I think that now in the world we live in, any sort of military excursion anywhere is going to be that. It doesn't matter who's doing it. It doesn't matter what their reasons are. There's going to be a calamity because look, we don't live in the age of empire anymore, where like you took over a country and then you just kept the land. So it's always going to be a calamity. And I think it's I think that's why you should be very careful before you jump into something like that. But I guess I'm alone there.
Well, there was reports that he was already talking about sending Witkoff to Ukraine or to Moscow to like deal with that. And I'm like, can we like have like a break from like war and like talking about it? I know, like we know that's not going to end. It's been ongoing. I just wish we could take a break, focus on domestic, maybe get through midterms, and then let's in 2 months, once we get Iran really done and that deal is complete, then go try to deal with them, because that's like something we know is not going to be like an overnight thing. And I would rather them spend their time on something else.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
About Ukraine. Like just take all right. If Ukraine becomes part of Russia, the whole damn thing, guess what? It was for like 90 years, and then it wasn't, and then it was again, and half the people in Ukraine speak Russian. It's like Belgium and Germany. It's like the same damn place. Like, whatever. I don't... figure it out.
In fairness, I was the girl on Fox News, Tears Gallagher's face almost like fell to the floor. I was like, I'm okay with, because it was like, I was there. It was one of the days that like Putin and Trump met for the Ukraine stuff. And I said, hot take, I don't care if we let Ukraine become a parking lot. I'm tired of paying my tax dollars going to Ukraine. So never say that on Fox News, guys, or any news channel, but because I got a lot of shit on that. But
it is so funny when you say that to like Cold Warriors. They're like, well, what do you mean? Like the domino theory, don't you know? They're gonna go what about Poland? I don't know. Sounds like a Poland problem. Like,
I always refer back to, and I do think it's a very interesting interview, whether you like him or not. Tucker Carlson did sit down with Putin, and he talks about how like they had to cut like hours of this interview out, but like that Putin went into the history of like how like Ukraine became a thing and why this war happened and how the land was divided, and like basically saying like he warned them over and over and over. So it's like when you sit there and you listen, by no means do I think Putin's this great guy, but when you hear his side of it, like I also see that. I also think we have a lot of corruption going on in Ukraine. We know a lot of money was going back into the pockets of politicians there's a lot to be said there. So, that's my take. I'm never gonna like Ukraine, guys. So
it's, you know what it is? It's not that I don't like Ukraine. I just don't care.
I don't care, but I'm tired of my tax dollars going to them. Like I'm tired of any of my money going overseas. When I know how many Americans are struggling, like fuck it. Like I don't care.
Like there was just another dump into Ukraine of like American military, and I went to one of the Republican members of Congress who voted for it, who I break his balls incessantly because he's always afraid I'm going to run against him, which isn't out of the question. But I always go, I literally just want to, first off, you're like my second call. Let's be clear. But I literally was like, yo, that money you guys sent over to Ukraine, that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's gonna get them over the hump. That's going to get them over the finish line. I mean, sure, they're sending 52-year-olds to the front line, but, that extra money you sent over, way to go, guys. And he was like, well, what? He literally said to me, he was like, well, what should we have done? And I was like, nothing, because we're the reason why this war is still going on. Because if we hadn't been sending all of the money over there, they would have went to the table already, because this thing, you lost.
They're using American drones. Like they are using our drones that we've sold them and gave them to do all this stuff that they're like all the drones that are blowing up different parts of Moscow and what you're seeing on the news when it does it like show, that is due to our weapons and our drones that we've provided. And at the same time, like Ukraine has when we wanted something from Ukraine, Zelensky says no. He's like, I'm not going to help you. Like just a few months ago when we reached out to them for help with Iran, Zelensky said no. I was like, we should never give Ukraine a dime again. I said that prior to this, but like this should be the hard line in the sand.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean no? Like I wasn't asking.
Yeah. And then on top of that, a lot of people know this, but if you've ever like last summer when you vacationed in Europe or any time, you would see all these Ukrainian, like all the money from Ukraine, they all fled with a ton of money, of our money, and they all were just partying in like Cannes and St. Bart's like all year. You would see them in like these fancy cars. You'd be like, who are all these people? Come to find out they're all fucking Ukrainian. And they're like, we can't go home, so we're just partying. And it's like basically our stimulus money, just Ukraine. It's crazy. And they also they're not able to audit it. So we have no idea where all the money went.
That's just a crazy notion that we can't ask where it went. Like, and like I said, I think you would be very hard pressed to find any American who like sees like a tsunami in Japan or like a hurricane in Haiti and like, oh yeah, we can send a few $1 million worth of supply, a few cargo ships of water. Like, that is so different than us basically just keeping a war going that should have ended already. Like, you lost, bro. It's like, you ever see those videos of those guys that get knocked out and then they just keep coming back and the dude just keeps hitting them over and like, you're done. Just go home.
Well, I just feel like we've pushed Putin and Xi, like we've pushed China and Russia together, and BRICS is getting stronger and stronger. And I will continue to say that this didn't have to be this way. We keep picking really bad allies, like for some odd reason. Like, this is not a good ally. Like, Zelensky is never going to have our back. Why do we keep picking countries that we have to fund, like welfare countries? Ukraine, Israel, like why can't we pick a country that's not a complete welfare, like that relies on my tax dollars?
Well,
like, how about we pick a country that can pay us?
I'll tell you why, because the majority of the West has bastardized themselves into such a point now where they almost don't exist. Like the countries that could fund themselves, they're not. England is just a really, really poor place with London in the middle of it. Like, Western Europe, it's done. It's finished for the most part. I mean, particularly, I don't know if you guys, not to get off topic, but I don't know if you guys read that report that came out today from England about the SA gangs. Did you guys?
Well, that's also.
Oh my God, Angela, you have.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, I don't know. I've been following her for years because I'm a fan of Tommy Robinson, but like, I just it's Western Europe is on the cusp of like no longer being a thing.
But like, the other problem is though, and everyone can just look at America. Like, we keep talking about migration here, like where all these like big, like New York City, everyone's migrating to Florida and to different places. There's this migration that's happening also, and the Middle East is a great one to talk about. With Israel continuing to blow up Gaza and Lebanon and all these like little wars and these different groups that are breaking out, we are going to continue to see quote unquote Muslims, Middle Easterns without homes and having to migrate. These wars like Ukraine, they're either dying or they're migrating. And so when you do that, you get this whole thing where people think you can mix cultures. Now, I'm not about to like be a Nick Fuentes, like say you shouldn't do it. But I am going to say like people are different. Like, you cannot, like, if you drop an American in London, I've lived it for a month. Like, I can tell you, it's a very different lifestyle. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, it's a different lifestyle. How they talk, like, it's different. If you go stay in Italy, it's different. Like, to try to tell everybody that all these different demographics and ethnicities and cultures all need to be in these little countries, like these little cities, it's never going to go well. Yeah. It's just not.
No, it's not. I think that this is going to be a controversial statement, but I stand by it. Like, I genuinely believe that multiculturalism is a failure.
Yeah.
Like, it is a made up thing by people who never have to live underneath the consequences of the things that they advocate for. Because guess what? Like, rich white women, I call them the awfuls, the affluent white female urban liberal, like, they never have to, oh, well, obviously we should allow Somalians in. because
No.
I'm never on the subway and I don't have to, I'm not a nurse leaving Cornell University Medical Center after working a 14-hour shift at 3 o'clock in the morning to be assaulted or set on fire by some vagrant. Like, that is the Western world. And that's why England is as bad as it is, because the only thing that matters in England is London. The problem is when London makes these decisions, when people who went to Exeter and Oxford and Cambridge and Eton, like all these like rich fancy schools, they all live in London, and then when they invite the migrants in, they go to Birmingham, they go to Brighton, they go to Liverpool, they go to Rochdale and Rotherham, and these people have no political power whatsoever. I mean, just look at the rise of Nigel Farage over the course of the last decade. It completely compares with the rise of Trump. Sold out by elites who don't care about regular people, who would rather the suicidal empathy than dare be called racist by the New York Times.
Mhm.
And it's leading to the downfall of the majority of the Western nations. Sorry, that got intense.
No,
it's very odd. In LA, I wasn't. We didn't have one of our bold talks during the Spencer Pratt race and what happened there. But I know we all talked like via text. LA is a great example, and I see it all the time. Like when you put all these different people and cultures in one place, and you continue to see the wealth gap grow bigger and larger and widen, you're going to continue to see these problems expand. And Sam Altman, there's a new study that all the big tech AI guys have come together and they've released the data that they believe is going to be true. They are preparing for unrest in the streets by 2027, 2028. They are already starting to run like National Guard and the Army is already starting to run different military operations. This isn't like me being a crazy conspiracy person. These are all like, go look online, guys, government websites. Like this is actual factual data that has come out that they're predicting. And to me, that's scary. And I don't know how we're going to tackle it, because the way I'm seeing it in Europe, America is going to be 10 times worse.
Yeah.
And the problem is the elites, they don't care. And I'm really nervous. And I would not want to be in a city like LA where you can't protect your house. You can't have a gun. If somebody walks into your house with your family there and like tries to rob you, you're not allowed to shoot.
No, yeah. You look,
that's crazy.
When people feel like, and you're seeing it in Belfast after that guy damn near got beheaded by that Sudanese dude. You're seeing it with the, like I said, the rise of like the English Defense League and Tommy Robin. Not they're the same, but you're when people feel like their vote doesn't matter, the only option left is violence. And I'm not condoning it. It is just a natural course of what's happening. When you had I keep using England as the example because I say it all the time that when Europe sneezes, America catches a cold. Everything that happens in America happened in Europe 5 years before. Whether it's the rise of populism, whether it's mass migration, whether it's inflation being out of control, whether it's income inequality, whatever it may be, it happens in Europe before, particularly in England.
And look at, like, for example, we all talk about healthcare all the time and socialized medicine. And at this rate, like if you look at Canada, if you look at any of the countries in Europe, a hospital bed in America, the healthcare is continuing. People are not getting the same bedside manner when they're in the hospital. A hospital bed is anywhere between 1 million and 1.5 million a day, they're saying, per bed. That's what it costs for a hospital. And when we continue to let all of these people into our country and we continue to say it's okay, well, you guys, we can't afford it. We can't afford to keep taking care of all these people, especially when you're trying to tell me that AI is going to take over and they're not going to have jobs with healthcare. There's a lot of, and I don't mean this rudely, but I have a friend that works at Amazon and they talk about there's a lot of different Somalis, a lot of Africans that work. They even have a prayer room for Muslims at Amazon. no, like, this isn't even me being rude. This is just facts that it's on Amazon. And so I'm just saying that when that happens, you have to ask yourself, like, how did we get here?
Mhm.
Why, like, how did we get here?
It is that suicidal empathy where there are people out there who would rather be raped by a migrant
Yeah.
than be called racist. That is a real fear. People are more and it's a wild statement, but it's true. It's that, I mean, look at Keir Starmer with the Henry Noack situation. With the kid, he was stabbed by a Sikh. The police come up, arrest him while he's bleeding to death in the street. They handcuff him. He goes, "I've been stabbed," and the cop goes, "I don't think you have, mate." Like, that is bananas. And the fact that they haven't. What's up?
I was just talking to somebody. They said the same thing you're saying.
It's crazy because I don't know what you do next. There's that Solzhenitsyn quote that there's nothing more dangerous than the hands of a man who just wanted to be left alone. And like, you're going to start to see this get worse and worse. And if people begin to feel like they have no other option, you're going to see race riots. And I don't want to see that, but there's no way you can look at what's happening and not see that as the natural outcome of what's coming.
I think people are getting fed up. Like, yeah.
I lived race riots in 2020 in LA. It was absolutely insane with the George Floyd riots and COVID. I mean, we had National Guard walking me through the Ralphs and through the Publix. They were all over the Grove Market. Like, you couldn't leave your house because literally, I could post pictures after this. There were just, like, your coffee shop, they were just lighting places on fire. Small businesses, they didn't even know, just for the hell of it. I think we're in a lot of trouble if we don't get a hold of it. And that's really why I really hope this administration really starts to set the tone for moving forward and working on domestic, because why are we worried about international, different countries? We need to be worried about our own. And if we don't get serious about what is happening here and we don't win midterms, 2028 is going to be a disaster. And we are going to, I don't want to see what the future holds for all of us. Especially, I definitely don't want the Democrats deciding the release of AI. Like, AI is continuing to change things. And the last group of people I ever want setting the standards for UBI or anything else for the country is a Democrat.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just look at what Democrats attempted to do with power when they had it without AI. I mean, there were so many. I mean, Angela, you were here during COVID. You remember how willing people were to rat their neighbors out, like the Stasi. They were so excited to be so moral and self-righteous that they were. I mean, I tell the story all the time about that tip line that De Blasio put out.
Right.
It's my Madeline. Have I ever told you this story?
Maybe. I lived in LA. It was just as bad.
No. So Bill De Blasio put out like a 1-800 number that.
You've told this story on Bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, have I? Yeah. It's literally my favorite story ever. But the fact that he even put that out there means that he knew there was an appetite for people to rat out the guy in the apartment across the street because he had to. And those people were the ones who felt virtuous. And then you think back to other times where people sold people out, like in East Germany or, during the Soviet Union, or like, the guy who lived underneath Anne Frank. Like, those people probably felt virtuous also about what they were doing. And think about how much worse that's going to be with the rise of AI. And I do not want Democrats setting that policy.
I think Trump was the beginning of the divide between, like, Democrats. Like, I used to have a lot of friends. I mean, we're friends with Angela, who used to be a very outspoken Democrat. She's now independent, sure. But we all can say, like, we all have friends that are on both sides. Like, all of us have our takes and have friends on both sides. Trump definitely caused a divide because he's different. And there was even Republicans against Republicans when Trump first came to the scene. However, I really think COVID is where my friends that were Democrat turned their, like, I had friends for life that we just never talked politics. They knew what I did. I knew their takes on it. Like, it was just a known thing, an unspoken thing. We talked about TV shows. We talked about our life, our families. We didn't talk about politics. And COVID was where I lost friendships because it was like this thing where we can't be friends with people like you who are not willing to get vaccinated. We can't be friends with somebody that believes this nonsense. And so, yeah, and it was a control thing. And I don't know if we'll all ever come back together again.
I don't think so. And you know, it's so, looking back on it, being totally right, being totally vindicated, like masks, virtually useless, 6 feet, completely made up. The vaccine, like there were people out there. My father had a blood clot in his lung. That was like, it looked like a cork. Never had blood clots before in his life. Like we were, it's not one of these like, oh, look, or I was right again. But it's like, you made people feel like they were like, you turned the people in. You forced people to show vaccine cards to go to a restaurant. Like,
I got a ticket walking my dog on a public street without a mask.
I mean, there was that video in California of that. What the hell? Like, what are those things? Like the big surfboards that people stand on.
Paddleboard, like a paddleboard.
Is that what it's called? Right? A paddleboard?
I think so.
I don't do the ocean, so I don't know. I look like a seal, so I don't want to, like, you know, get eaten by a shark. Yeah, but yeah, that they arrested that guy on a paddleboard. Dude's literally on an island by himself, and they were like, "No, you can't do that." Well, when they put all the sand in like the skate parks and shit, like someone was like, "Oh, this is a great idea." I think it's
the ones you stand. I mean, you do stand on surfboards also, but I think he is talking when you have like kind of like the
it's a paddleboard. Yeah.
It is a paddleboard.
Yeah, like I feel like.
But I mean, to your
the standing, the one with the paddle is like the douchier version of surfing.
Douchier, but no, I mean, to both of your points, I find it still so relevant what you're saying, because that's the same way that I feel about all of my very democratic liberal friends, is that they're right, you're wrong. Like it's very black and white. It's very holier than thou. It's very soapbox. It's very like, this is right and this is wrong and you're terrible people.
Oh my God.
What?
I think the Trump-backed candidate in Georgia is about to lose. He's going to lose.
Burt Jones?
Yeah.
Rick Jackson, the billionaire. Everyone says it's going to be fraud.
Oh my God. Yeah. Burt Jones is down by 50,000 votes right now.
That's crazy. Well, they said Rick Jackson could easily. This is a great topic. Wait a minute. Lindsey Graham won the election. There's been a lot of questions across the country how we all feel about these elections, and do we believe our votes count?
Right.
I don't know. Now. I think boomers like definitely are a problem, but like, unless you're one of my friends, like a boomer that we all love and care about, like a lot of you boomers, like I'm looking forward to the transfer of wealth and being done with your vote. Like, you've aged out of voting. Okay.
I cannot wait for the housing market collapse.
Like,
when all these,
ready for it.
I tell you, I got my powder dry, baby. Let's go. It's going to be long Kevin Island very soon.
But like, seriously, I mean, do we really, like, I've heard Rick Jackson could easily like steal this election. There was some talk about it, but then also all these Trump candidates have won that I am shocked by. Like Lindsey Graham winning, it's either like, I don't understand how it's possible. Like the entire country hates that man. We're talking about Ukraine, a defender for Ukraine and a defender for Israel. Let's drop Lindsey Graham in one of these fucking places and light it up. I'm ready.
Well, Israel is the only place in the Middle East where gays are allowed, so I guess Lindsey Graham would fit in very well
Let
there.
it go. Let him go.
I just wish she would just come out already. Like, it's 2026, man. Nobody cares anymore.
There's been a lot of neocon talk in this chat today.
Well, you know what? Because it really is a generational thing. Like, if you're
Me
people
neither.
just have no appetite for war.
Linda Graham.
People they really have no appetite for war whatsoever. Particularly war of choice. Like, look, don't get me wrong. Like, we get invaded, like, I'm gonna be blowing people up, but like, there's no reason to do it over there. Like, it's not my problem. Like, and that is something that look, that's the problem. Is that the way our politics works is everything takes a generation to catch up. That's why if you look at the people that were like that made weed popular, that was in the 60s and the 70s, and weed only became legal like 10 years ago because all those like hippies like Bernie Sanders finally got into power and actually had some pull somewhere. You're going to start to see much more anti-war people coming up, and it has to happen sooner rather than later. I just hope that we're not $100 trillion in debt by the time it does.
Well, I also am starting to question, like, we talk about like all the craziness in the streets too, and what could happen in the future. Besides like that, there's a lot of people that are starting to say, like, I want to push back on my taxes. Like, I don't want to pay taxes. There's people calling to like not pay taxes, to have a tax strike. I think that they're going to have to, I think politicians and I think the elites are going to really have to figure something out quickly, because I think Americans are all Americans, not just one party, not just one demographic or age group. I think everyone is opening the eyes to, why am I working 9 to 5 and then getting a second job, a third job, and all of my tax money is not going to my child's education. It's not going to the potholes. It's not going to the problems. It's going to things that are out of my control, that are in a different country. I want to know where my taxes are going, or I don't want to pay them. And we all used to talk about it, but the taxes are just continuing to go. Like, you're taxed for everything now. And I think at some point we're going to see a real pushback on that. And I think that's going to create another huge problem.
I feel like it's a common theme with a lot of these topics is just people being fed up. Like, it's just like, what is this limit that we reach where we just,
Well, that's it, is that you can't hit the limit, because if you hit the limit, then you're going to leave people in the streets in your wake. Yeah. It's going to be like French Revolution type stuff. And we're already seeing it with people think that revolutions are started by when you look at like Marxism or the rise of communism all over the world, people think it was the working class that rose up. It wasn't. It was the prissy little rich kids who had the time and the money to go out and protest. Like Hassan Piker, like all of these leftists that, are still on their parents' health insurance plan, that have time to go out and do all these protests because they don't have any rent. Like, if you're working in a factory, you're not going to, all right, everybody, let's go on strike and then rise up and start a new country. Like, nah, I got to work. I got kids and shit. And you're starting to see this.
But you keep looking at how aggravated people are. You keep looking at like the tension within our own party, with across the aisle. Like, the tension it's escalating, right? Mm-hmm. And then you see this data coming out from like people like Sam Altman, people like Mark Zuckerberg, all these, tech giants are coming out and saying, like, we expect, the AIs are telling us, like, we are expecting riots in the street 2027, 2028. We expect the unrest to continue to grow. And now the FBI put out a policy this week, like, if you push back on data centers, you are automatically getting added to an FBI watch list. Like, that is crazy to me. That you're basically telling me, the FBI is telling me that I'm not allowed to have an opinion on something that's going on in my own state or country, or it could be in my own backyard. And if you go look into it, documentaries from Memphis and other places, like, these data centers are actually making constituents sick. Like, people, it's not, people are like, outside of Memphis, there's a city that just like they hand out needles to all the people in downtown LA. All the people that live in a city outside of Memphis, they get inhalers sent to them for free every month due to the data center. And it's apparently one of the largest data centers. And I hate to say it about Elon Musk, but it is I don't know if it's Twitter, X, I don't know what data center it is, but it is Elon Musk's big data center.
I think Elon should just buy Canada and put all the data centers there.
I love that idea. I think it's a great idea.
Elon, call me. I'll advise you on policy. I also probably could advise you on a few other things, but I think it's a little too late for that.
Too far gone.
Yeah.
My question is, do we think Candace Owens is like, how is she not afraid to go up against that? Like, I give her a lot of props. Not even that I watch her, but I've been seeing a lot of like hot clips on X lately. She's fighting with the FBI now. Tucker, like, I wouldn't want to fight with the FBI. Like, I just wouldn't want to do it. Like, I don't want to get arrested. Like, why would you want that?
Because Candace knows she'll never be arrested.
It's true. I mean,
she has a foreign passport.
Well, people just know they'd go crazy, but yeah.
No, but I don't think that. First off, I think that a lot of people think that Candace Owens is like a joke at this point, and she is. And whether she's making salient points right now is like, look, she's whether it's the Brigitte Macron thing or the Erica killed Charlie thing or the Egyptian planes. She has so discredited herself that
but the Egyptian planes were real. Like, that was true.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. They checked out Megyn Kelly. You love Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson. Like, both of them have come out and confirmed that story to be true.
What about the tunnels underneath?
You won't go against Erica Kirk at Turning Point, and I understand that.
No, but it's not about Turning Point.
The shit out against Erica Kirk, like, that girl should just go home. Like,
it's not about.
She should just go home and stay home.
Turning Point
and disappear because the girl sucks. Like, I'm done being nice to that girl.
It's not about Turning Point or Erica. It's that just like you don't go after people's widows when you were clearly in love with their husband. Like, you clearly, I mean, this is so beyond obvious to any person who has ever been around one of you creatures, like women. Like, this is like high school bullshit. Like, don't give me the little hair flip and the smile. Like,
because I'm trying to, like, I know, like, there's just like my take on this is I'm not even like I don't subscribe to Candace Owens. I watch the clips, like, they come up on my feed probably because her and I both dislike a country a lot, and so my algorithm and hers are like similar. But it is what it is. I'll just say this. I think that there's a lot of weird shit that's come out. There's a lot of different people that have come out against Turning Point that worked there. And I'm seeing more and more come out on different podcasts that are like very small podcasts because like they're just like these newer podcasters that are getting them. And it's very interesting to hear their take on it. It's very interesting. This one guy was like working for Turning Point. He's from Arizona. He got the hell out of there, and he was going to run for mayor and of somewhere in Arizona, I think Phoenix, and somewhere in Phoenix. And he talks all about like what's going on in Turning Point. And look, I don't know what all this is, but there's a lot of weird shit that's gone on in this administration. Erica Kirk was not on my bingo card when we voted for Trump, and none of what has happened. And I think that half a mega would agree with that. Well, old mega, America First would agree with that, I should say. But I am going to go out. The only time I'm ever going to go to a Turning Point event again, just so we all know this, is when Kevin goes out and speaks at Turning Point. I am going to be there. So when you all say I'm at a Turning Point event, just so everyone knows, I'm there to support Kevin. Fair. Guys, Kevin.
I mean, look.
With me, like, Kevin has lost me a lot of times, has lost conversations with me because he defends Turning Point. So you guys, he deserves a raise. He deserves a bonus for her.
Well, I don't get paid by Turning Point, so there's no raise or bonus. But
well, that's He deserves some fucking money because all he does is fight with me about you guys. So
Well, because I think that
his street credit goes down with me when he talks about it.
No,
but
well,
I'm gonna come for it.
No, I'm fine with. You know what it is? Because I think it's worth saving.
It is worth saving. I agree. Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that, and not you, but just in general, that when they go after the organization, it's one of these things like, and there's a lot of people in our industry that do this. A lot of them who think that like if they take down the person above them, that they rise, and that's just not how. Just because you killed Billy the Kid doesn't make you Billy the Kid. Like, you know, it's not. And there's a lot of people in our world that think that way, and it's a problem. Like, Candace will never be Charlie. There'll never be anyone like that. So all we can, there's no look. He was one of one. You know, no one.
That's
Benny
true.
won't.
That's true.
Benny won't. Jack won't. Anybody. So people are trying to fill that void, but instead of like rising to the void, they're trying to bring the void down to like their B minus tier level, and I think that's incredibly dangerous for what comes next. And I think that's why I defend Turning Point as much as I do, because what he did was incredible.
And that's fine. And one thing I can say that I think Turning Point should do more of, and that I hope like you get out there and talk about it. And because one thing Turning Point did do, and when Charlie was alive and it was running well, that's one thing. But there was a lot of really great young Republican groups that were, and you know this because you were a young Republican, Kevin, but young Republicans kind of lost a lot of the funding. A lot of it became not as popular due to Turning Point came in and really grew and took a lot, because a lot of people couldn't do both. You can't be like, as much as you're a young Republican, they would go to the Turning Point meetings or events instead of young Republican events.
That is so true.
One thing that I see, there is a huge gap now, and I was talking about this with the Thomas Massey race, and I was talking to people about creating a PAC, and I'm looking into that all now, is that we have a problem, and that we have a lot of young voters that need to get registered. And due to the fact that we don't have a great young Republican grassroots core in these cities, that we need them anymore. And the fact that Turning Point has lost a lot of support, and half of our base will not look Turning Point's way, whether it's because of Nick Fuentes, Candace, or whatever that is. We need to come together and try to get we don't want to lose all of the independents and all of these young voters that we've gained. And if we're not careful, the left is they're great at that. They are great at rounding the troops, and they are great at getting people registered. And, you know, that is where I do see, I hate saying a new party, but that's where I see a different candidate than Trump really coming in and picking up the young vote, and if we can get them registered. If you don't like the candidate that Trump pushes forward in 2028.
I mean, look, I'll just tell you straight out. So I was at the National Young Republican Conference in Nashville last year, and the only people there that were even remotely either impressive or fun were the ones that were involved with Turning Point. Like, you got to see, it was like watching people fight over the world's smallest throne. These people were so unimpressive. It was actually bananas. Like, you know, you have like, I mean, I'm on the advisory board of the City Club. I've been with them forever. We're fun. We do things. We're edgy. We did our own thing like that. And there's a few. Chicago's got that. Austin has that. I think LA has it. But there's like young Republican chapters they're all either super autistic, like where you don't want to hang out.
Kentucky's used to be great. They're all full of Mitch McConnellites. They all owed Mitch McConnell favors, and they all became, you know, very not my speed. And that's where they lost a lot of. That's where they lost a lot of the support, and a lot of people went Turning Point. But sorry,
you got to see that was the biggest thing. Listening to, and it happens out here too. Oh, bananas! Like where like they just do whatever their county chairman tell them. Like whatever. Oh no, well we can't go against the party. And it's like no, you can watch me do it. And I think that's why, like, when me and Sean started the Loud Majority out here, it was outside of the party apparatus. I don't care who your uncle is. I don't care, what. Your grandfather was the, you know, conservative party of New York chairman 80 years ago. Okay, you suck. Like, I mean, he might have been awesome, but you suck. And there's so many like that.
Well, I also think Turning Point's pushing pushing religion a lot on young people. And as much as we have a lot of young Christians, I do feel like it's pushing it's pushing the people that are not religious away, that are political. And especially young people. Like, as you get older, when you get married, have kids, you do have, like, when you're out going out partying and things, like, you're not thinking about wanting, like, not a lot of people are thinking about being religious, but they did care about wanting to wear a MAGA hat. They did care about their economy and getting a job and things. And so the one thing that if Turning Point is going to listen about anything is or any other group, there's a gap. And we need to find a way as Republicans and conservatives to fill it. And that is getting young people registered.
Yeah. You're so right about that. And I think there was such an aggressive, there seems to be a more aggressive push towards the overly religious right now. Yeah. Where, like, I think we would do far better if we pushed towards fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not saying going out and, drunken, coke-fueled orgies and degeneracy left and right, but I don't want to live in a world. When I was 20 years old, I would have never listened to anyone who was like, "Oh, you have to live your life like Mike Pence." Like, yeah. That doesn't sound fun to me. That I don't want to do that. Like, I don't know.
We need a friend, like, we need Angela to be like, we need, like, the independents to come up and, like, help us, because they really know how to have a good time,
That's true. When we film our video hanging out, maybe we can be like, oh, I do get that. I feel like, I'm a lot more fun when people get to know me than they might think.
You are.
Well, and a lot of independents or people, like, those votes that we swing, they are not typically the religious votes. They're typically they're walked away from the party because of some, like, the crazy, like, going way too far left, or because something, like, they didn't like how high the real estate was and, like, the way the city was being ran. And so when you look at it, independents, though, they don't want to be boring either, but they don't want to be pushed into like Christianity or
because religion would not work
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? And so I do think we need to remember that. And I think that we cannot rely just on the Trump administration to do it, because what I am seeing from stats and data is there's the young people that follow Turning Point. That's amazing if you do. But if you don't, that crew of, like we said, we cannot discount the Nick Fuentes group of guys, young group guys. We can't discount the Candace Owens people. We can't discount the independents that we can still register, and we can still sway them to not vote for Gavin Newsom in 2028. Because if you see what California looks like, guys, go to California, go to New York City. Like, do you want that for our country?
Yeah.
We can't afford it. So, like, I urge all of us that are not, like, so in deep with these groups, like Kevin, yeah, sure, he's affiliated with them, but he's not bought and paid for by Turning Point. He has a Loud Majority. All of us need to use our platforms to really try to get some of these young people to stick with us, because I don't think, like, this whole new group is not going to stay. I see a lot of it disappearing after 20.
And you have been saying that time and time again. You have been very vocal and passionate about that, and I appreciate it. And
well, I think Brandon from Walkaway, you had him on the one. He's even saying, like, he's been hosting debates. Like, I've seen Owen Schroyer and them on debates. Like, he's afraid because he's like, I walked away and came to this party, but I don't feel like I have a home anymore. And I want everyone to know, because I've always been Republican and conservative, and I've stood in that position. I don't plan on leaving that position, that like you guys are not alone. There are conservatives and Republicans that don't agree with everything, and I'm not going to be this loyalist that's going to like follow them into the trenches, but we have to stick together, and you can't go back to the left because they're just as crazy. We need to all like come together and continue to move forward. Whether you like the administration, what they're doing, or just keep moving forward, because there are going to be other candidates, and maybe we can prove that.
Yep, absolutely. I wanted to highlight, War's piece had a perspective here, some information about Turning Point, maybe popular, unpopular opinions, I don't know. Turning Point is one of the sketchiest organizations in America. You guys should check out Wolves of Finance. He tackles the financial fraud of Turning Point.
Oh.
Turning Point has thousands of college chapters across America that don't really exist. Charlie is maligning.
Well, I mean, look, there's nothing I love more. There's nothing I love more than a good YouTube video made by a guy nobody's ever fucking heard of to expose something that I'm in the middle of that you can tell me about. There's nothing.
I do love the statement that weird ass girl, that the Unfuck America tour. I thought that was pretty clever. Like I have to admit, like I want to like unfuck America too, but in a different way. We're kind of fucked in a lot of ways right now. Turning Point's the last of my like. I'm not worried about Turning Point.
First off,
they can just continue to pray. Please pray while I continue to try to unfuck.
I want to be clear. I am. Well, I'm not going to tell you here. I'll tell you afterwards. But I'm going to be.
Okay.
I'm going to be the Unfuck America tour. Maybe running into a Kevin Smith soon.
Oh my God. I might have to get that on camera too.
Well, it's going to be on camera. So, and it's great because I don't lose. I'm not Dave Rubin.
I think we're going to have to clip that and let that be like the beginning of this. Guys, PSA.
Like I said, I'm not Dave Rubin, so I'll be okay.
You're not Benny Johnson either.
No, did you see the and it kills me to say because you know he's from Long Island. Like him? Well, he's from Long Island, so I got to have his back. You wouldn't understand. We are a cult out here. You stay off my island, and we protect our own. Also, you know, $7,000.
Fair.
Well,
no, but yeah, that you guys know what I'm talking about, right? That Dave Rubin Jubilee debate.
God, he sucks so bad,
dude. He got like, and look, I've never had an issue with Dave in that regard, but or you know, I like him. It's not that I like him or I don't like him. It's just that was so bad. That was so bad. How bad he did there.
Well, in other topics that I know Kevin really wants to talk about, we got to talk about the SPLC, right? I mean, I have to give you for those of you who missed, you know, we covered a little bit about the SPLC, I don't know how many weeks ago, but they're back in not that it ever ended, but ongoing federal criminal case against SPLC, fraud-related charges, use of donor funds to informants inside extremist groups while publicly opposing them. So new in the news today is Heidi Barrick, who is a former director of the SPLC's intelligence project and now leader of the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism, is allegedly described in the indictment as having a romantic relationship with a paid informant within the white supremacist National Alliance. Reports claim that approximately $1.2 million was paid to that informant and over many years and passed through allegedly, potentially joint accounts that they had together. Whoa. What did you think when you heard? I mean, Kevin, you know, you have an axe to grind with the SPLC, I think, as we sort of covered that last time. What was your initial reaction to hearing this news?
To hear that they were actually quite literally in bed with the Southern with the Klan. Like imagine this, hating Nazis so much you just can't help but fuck them. Like you just maybe it's like that. It's like that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode when Larry goes to the Palestinian chicken place. That's that's the greatest TV episode ever.
And the fact that he's Jewish and like you're using that as like a comparison is great too.
Yeah,
Like
first off, it's my favorite episode, but like, you know, it's just a fraud. It's not about hate. It's not about fighting any of it. It's just about money. You know, Thomas Sowell talks about this all the time. That if you look at any movement, it starts out as a cause, turns into a business, and ends up as a racket. And that's exactly what this is. Like, so it wouldn't shock me if there was some version of this girl was already sleeping with the guy. Then she was like, well, what if you go infiltrate the group and then we can pay you through the slush fund? Like, that's not bananas. Like, that's not a crazy notion. Look, the whole thing was a fraud. It destroyed people's lives. Mine, I was one of them. You know, I had New York State senators comparing me to Timothy McVeigh because the Southern Poverty Law Center put me on the same list as him. I had to watch Lee Zeldin while running for governor get questioned about his affiliation to extremist organizations. And they said my fucking name. Like, you know what that was like explaining to my family? That I'm on the same list as David Duke? That I'm on the same list as the head of the Aryan Brotherhood? Like, I'm none of those things. And, you know, it was a surreal feeling that these people don't care. It's just about power. They'll do whatever they can to achieve it. And, you know, I lost a lot of work because of it. I lost a lot of jobs. I mean, shit, my local Newsday, our local paper out here, wrote an article the other day saying anti-government extremists by the Southern Poverty. Like, it is something that I will be slandered with for the rest of my life. And there's nothing I can do about it.
I think a lot of people, I think it's very dangerous what can people who continue to get labeled things. It's a very dangerous, you're playing with fire. And that's also, I think, a lot of what we're all talking about too, with like the divide in this party, right? When, you know, when you say I'm an anti-Semitic because I don't support Israel, I've been non-supportive. Now Trump can be not supportive, but he's not anti-Semitic. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's very odd to me.
Yeah,
but,
well, that's it. Is that they just throw the label at you.
Yes.
And once you're labeled with it, whatever it is, whether it's, you know, I mean, there are a lot of claims out there that don't really hold the power that they used to. Racist, anti-Semite. And the problem with that is
fascist,
Nazi exactly.
Wait, this is great. I'm an investor on a startup. You guys will love this take. Didn't know, but it's either Andrew, somebody who reposted one of our clips. Like, Justin won't repost it. He already called me because bitching about one of our clips that went out, and he was on it, and I was talking about Israel, and he was like crying how people were yelling at him in his comments. But a startup of mine that I invested in called me and told me that one of the banks we were going to use, because I'm on the board, would not do it because I came up on one of the bank's guys' TikToks, which I don't have TikTok yet, and said that they knew I was anti-Semitic.
But like, you're not.
No,
I'm not anti-Semitic. I just don't want to fight Israel's wars. Like, yeah. I have First off, I have a cousin that's Jewish, and I love it. Like, I have friends that are Jewish. If you live in Los Angeles, as long as I have, or New York, and I think both of you can agree with this, you have friends that are Persian, you have friends that are Jewish.
Yeah.
I am not anti-Semitic. I don't like the state of Israel. There's a difference. I think you can like Jewish people and be very accepting of them. I don't like our relationship with a country.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's so different, right?
You know, you're so right.
The fact that this happened 3 weeks ago, and I haven't talked to you guys, but I forgot to tell you.
I'm sorry.
Like, it's all right. So I was like, that makes me want to go on TikTok and just go so fucking hard at that bank and like let everyone know, fuck you and fuck Israel even more. But
Yeah.
sorry guys, if you're Jewish.
Well, no, but you know what?
like
This is what
Israel.
I tried to explain this to somebody who was very pro-Israeli the other day about what they're doing is the worst possible thing they could do for the outcome that they want. So,
Yeah.
like, you know, with like, I compared it to the trans stuff. Okay, so if you were pro gay marriage, you
Yeah.
were pro people adopting, pro rights. Everybody's got the rights to do what you want to do. If you were pro, you want to be a man and become a woman, have a party, do whatever.
I love the Abbey. Like the
L-
parties at the Abbey are the fucking best.
But if you were like, ooh, I kind of
you
draw the
push-
I kind of draw the line at like 18-year-old teenage boys in 14-year-old girls' locker rooms. And then what the left did was they said transphobe, anti-LGBTQ. You
No,
want
and I
gay people to
push
lose
it
rights.
when you tell me that if we stayed in California, that if my kid goes to school and decides she wants to transition, that they don't have to tell me, and that she can go and they will find a way for her to go get hormones. I think unless you are 18 or 21, you should not be allowed to transition. I think it's a permanent thing. It can really hurt you. And if so, if you guys want to go that far, that parents have to be involved. I think
No,
Yeah.
but
complete crap.
just on like a
That
Totally.
does not make me. I have no problems with gays.
no,
Like, I don't care for gays.
I'm talking about on like a movement level.
Yeah,
like,
but that's the
what-
issue.
Yeah.
Like,
What? No, hold on. What I'm saying is that like, if you were all of those things, pro everything I just said, but you didn't want to transition kids,
You
they
would get
cast
labeled.
they
Yeah.
cast you aside, and that's what the pro-Israel crowd is doing.
Yeah.
Someone like me, where I'm like, I am pro-Israel, I am pro-Jew. I'm from the North Shore of Long Island, for Christ's sakes. Like, I have more Jewish friends than I have regular friends. Like, I'm pro-Israel. Israel, do whatever you want. You want to kill everyone in Gaza? Go ahead. I don't care. I just don't want to pay for it. Anti-Semite.
Literally, I lived like Beverly Hills right here, and then like 6th Street right here is where all the Orthodox, and like if you live in Los Angeles, everyone knows this. 6th Street, like La Brea, all of that. This is where all there's a huge Orthodox group, and like synagogues. You see them all. They'd go to my coffee shop. Like, I didn't even know I'll be honest, I'm from Kentucky. I didn't know what a tzitzit was. Like, I didn't know their fucking strings hanging from their fucking pants were called. Like, I thought it was weird as shit. I finally had a conversation with them and they taught me a lot. Okay. Because I was like, listen, I see you every day. Like, I need to know what the point of that is. And I Googled it and they were explaining it all to how it works. I don't have a problem with Jewish people. And I say that because I want people to know, like, I've had conversations, like, I've been interested. I have a lot of Jewish friends. But I don't have to agree with Netanyahu and going into war. And a lot of the things that I've disagreed with, it's all kind of coming out that it was wrong. Like, we're seeing the writing on the wall. And I'm not saying I'm right, but like, it wasn't great that this war was started. Trump couldn't get out. Like, we're still not out.
You're always right, Madeline.
I know, but like
there have been a lot of things, you know, over the months and months that we've been talking that you have been right about. I'm just saying
but I'm just like, I just get upset, and then I get upset that my friends or like people that I invest in like are now telling me and I'm like, you are gonna make me I'm not anti-Semitic, but like you are gonna make me really like all the things about Jewish banks and all that. Like, you're making me. Like, those conspiracies, I'm gonna go dive down that conspiracy now, because you just basically told a startup, because I'm on your board and I had an opinion on a war, that you're not gonna invest in them, or they'd have removed me from the board.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's even to get back to that race war question. Like, you know, I'm sure you guys all scroll and you see just like blatantly racist stuff on like Instagram or whatever. It is that the rise in it is a reaction to the pushback to things that aren't. You know, if you just like make like a Tony Hinchcliffe joke, like not racist, funny. But when you have people that are out there, you know, nanny state pointing fingers and all this stuff, you're going to force people, even with like, if you look at the rise of like the manosphere, whatever you want to call that weird ass movement, like the
Yeah.
Tates and guys like that, whatever you think about them, that is a direct response to the rape culture, to the toxic masculinity, to the everything, every natural impulse a teenage boy has is wrong, to the we need to feminize men, all men are evil. Like that is a direct relate, because you do that for 10 years and then you're curious and you get the rise of a guy who says, no, just go out, bang as many girls as you want, never get married, treat them like shit because they're going to treat you like shit. And like, you're shocked by that. You're shocked that you now have these like clavicular douchebags out there that like, end up getting the shit beat out of them every time they go outside because they think they're tough. Not that I have an example of that or anything. This like weird online culture that is a direct relation to the 15 years of like sexual assault, kangaroo courts that were going on in colleges, where like a guy could get accused of something, never find out who his accuser was, not be able to have like a parent or a representative in these kangaroo courts in colleges. All of those people are now podcasters. They're all in the space now. All of those kids that got thrown out of school because they had drunk sex one night and someone regretted it and they got thrown. There were so many examples of that during like the Me Too era, even like with the Aziz Ansari thing. Like Barry Weiss wrote a piece when she was I think she was at the Times, at the New York Times at the time, where some girl like tried to Me Too Aziz Ansari, when like it turns out they just like had bad sex. It wasn't rape. It was totally consensual. Every person has had sex and woke up the next day and just been like, ooh, not telling my friends about that one. Like, I mean, I haven't. No one that's ever slept with me has ever said that, but like I heard stories.
Of course.
Because like,
yeah.
Damn, I should have got his number. But like, that is a lot of what we're seeing now is a reaction to it's the pendulum swinging backwards. And when it comes to like the racial conflicts and when it comes to the pushback on foreign policy and whatnot, I think a lot of that is the pendulum coming back. And I don't think we're at the end of the upswing in that pendulum.
Yeah, and I keep telling young people too to be very careful what you like. There's a divide in our base, and I've told people that I know that are going very far one way or the other. I said, try to stay in the middle. I wouldn't go far either way, especially if you're not, listen, and I don't mean this rudely, but if you're not Jewish and like you do not have like a reason to be balls to the walls, like I'm gonna go kiss that wall and I am gonna defend it until it falls. Like if you don't have that reason, like I don't see why we're trying to get young people to go defend it. But then again, if you're a startup, don't ever criticize it, because my startup luckily had my back on it. But you guys both know this and follow me on everything. I don't go out there talking bad. This is probably like, it's only got to be one of the clips here, because Fox would just cut it. But Newsmax would cut it.
We're uncensored here, but
yeah.
But
That's why I like Angela's show, guys, because I can talk shit. I just get Justin calling me like, everyone's mad at me now. I'm like, sorry.
I mean, you can't.
First off, if somebody called me and was like, I'm mad at you because
he wasn't
of something. No, but if somebody called me and they were like, you were on a show with someone who said something I didn't like, I'd just be like, are you going to be able to get through the day?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be okay. Like,
yeah. No, I mean, I get it all the time, right? Because I still obviously have like a lot of liberal friends and stuff. And they're obviously, we've talked about this before, confused about what I'm doing and not a fan. They're like, they always want me to like push back more, like argue more. Like, why don't you say
your story is funny because you got, I feel like you got pushed into politics. Like you weren't political, and then you made like a goofy video and upset Ben Shapiro, and then you became political. Like I feel like you were. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like when I first, obviously, everyone, most people became aware of you because of the Ben Shapiro criticism clip. But were you like overtly political before that, or was it like,
yeah,
oh,
well,
okay,
yeah, I like more 2017, 2018. I was doing like anti-Trump stuff at that time. So I was doing like goofy dances and shit then, and Trump blocked me on X, and that became kind of a, so that was actually
That's
a
a
thing.
goal, by the way. Good for
It
you.
was
That's-
kind of a
yeah,
badge
that's
of honor
serious.
there for a little while. So it was, so it is quite a journey and quite a transition, because the beginning was very anti-Trump, and I got blocked by him. So then that kind of, it just kind of rolled from there. But then it's just, it's, I don't know. I think it's important to evolve as people and be real about it. And I've just always, had fun in different ways with it and kind of called out extremes on both sides. But it's true, I wasn't really political in the past, but yeah.
We have a lot of dumb people right now, I feel like, politically, that are being platformed. And Kevin touched on this in the beginning. I look forward to, I think that the next big cycle, like 2028, I think we're going to see a lot of these. We'll see who's going to actually stick around, but I don't foresee a lot of the people who are riding this bandwagon sticking around. They're gonna get tired.
Yeah, they're like I said, they're all going to become sports commentators or OnlyFans models. I'm pretty sure in like 20 years, it's just going to be OnlyFans models and insurance salesmen, and they're just going to like trade credit card numbers back and forth.
Wait, what do we think about Byron Donalds not willing to debate? And Ron DeSantis weighed in. He thinks there should be a debate. What do you guys think about Ron DeSantis and like saying, like, agreeing with Fishback and the fact that Byron Donalds won't debate?
So there's two,
because we both know that there's a lot of wall kissers on that panel too, minus Fishback. But
okay,
all
right. So here's what I'll say about that. There's the political, and then there's like the societal and the moral.
Yeah.
Societal, I think there should be debates. I think everyone should be I think obviously you have to have some sort of threshold to entry, so it's not just like a debate with 250 people on it. But I think there should be a debate, and he should do it. Now, politically, there is absolutely no reason Byron Donalds should take part in that debate. If I were advising him, I would say, deal with the shitty TikTok videos that come out. Do not get on that debate stage, because you can't win. Yeah. You can't. And it's not a debate performance thing. It's he can only go up. You can, it's like if I were pitching to A-Rod, right? If he hits a home run off me, he's supposed to. But if I strike him out,
all those young voters, all those young people that follow Fishback around, and he's been polling lately. I've seen there, he's definitely been polling more people. I'm shocked by the some of the ages that I'm seeing coming out for Fishback at this rate. But again, I'm not, no offense. Like, Byron Donalds isn't like, wow. Like, out of all the people, he doesn't impress me. I'm not going to lie. But like, come on.
I also think it's funny that, like,
he's a fucking dumbass.
I also think it's really great that it's actually genuinely spectacular that there are so many New Yorkers in Florida that one's about to become governor. Like, he's from Brooklyn. Like, yeah. And just to be clear, he's not just like from Brooklyn. If you've ever met Byron Donalds,
he's Brooklyn, yeah.
He is from Red Hook, Brooklyn.
He's fucking Thug Money. Like,
no, he
I don't
is
know
like,
how the hell
he's also gigantic. He is huge. Like, it's like the first time you see like a professional like offensive lineman. It's like, I remember the first time I saw like a pro football player. I was like, oh, I really thought I had a chance. And then I saw Byron Donalds have to walk through both double doors to get into a room. I was like, you're massive. That's beside the point.
I will say this, though. Fishback's a great example, like Massey and a lot of Spencer Pratt. They are getting that independent voter. They are getting that young voter that the Trump administration is on the edge of losing. And it is bigger, and it's going to continue to get bigger, especially as the boomers continue to, thank God, age out. And so I just want to throw it out there. Like, I would also, And I would also love to see James Fishback get to have his day in court or his day on the stage, because I think it would be, I think for truth telling, I think it'd be great.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
I think everybody wants to see an underdog get their chance, and I also think it makes Byron Donalds look like a coward.
Look, like I said, politically and
I get it. Politically, it's not good, but also politically, it's not good to not get on the debates. I would
I
say
agree.
it's kind of like Biden. Like, we all thought
Yep.
it didn't look good if Biden didn't debate. We all would say it would look bad if Trump didn't debate, right?
Yep.
I think, I could see why when Trump was, number one, and there was all the candidates in the field in the last election, why he didn't go to every debate, because it would have been all about Trump, right? He wanted to let the other candidates take it. But I do think that Fishback has gained enough momentum that I think it's fair if you're going to elect somebody like Byron Donalds, who doesn't impress me, to be the governor and take over Ron DeSantis, who's done such a great job in Florida. I think he should be in the hot seat. And I think it's crazy that the far right is saying, no, he doesn't have to answer questions. That's kind of like, that's the opposite of what we voted for. It's like this administration. We voted for this administration to answer to us. And now Kash Patel's telling me we're not allowed to ask him questions. Now the administration's like, no, the Epstein files, we're not going to talk about that. Like, no, Byron Donalds, you should get on the debate stage. You should debate Fishback. It's the right thing to do, and for transparency and for the Republican Party.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's a bad look. It sends a bad message. It reminds me too of like you were mentioning Biden, like Kamala not going on the podcasts and things like that. Like that hurt. I mean, I agree with you totally. So I forgot to pull up my picture of good old Heidi.
Ew, what the is that?
I just gotta say,
like, what is that?
I just gotta say, ladies, if you're gonna be on camera, wear your good bra.
I'm not trying to be this is not trying to be about a hater about judging, I'm not one, but like it is a funny picture.
It's so frumpy.
Sit up. Like, sit up. Why are you like, I'm in my throne? Yeah, I throw my knees up. Like, I'm in a throne. I get it. I'm allowed. That girl is on TV and or doing something. What is she sit up?
Also,
or get on a GLP-1 so we don't see that. What?
Do you know who she looks like? You ever see Crybaby?
Oh my God. Yes. Ratchet face.
Yeah.
I knew exactly who I didn't say that Kevin said that. I just know I know the character he's talking about, but I do see a resemblance there.
Look, I don't get this bitch put me on an anti-government extremism list. I'm allowed to say she's a hideous fucking, like she's boiling a child in a cauldron in a cabin in the woods. Like Hansel and Gretel should watch out for this.
She looks like she belongs on The fucking View.
So that's up next. But last point on this, I mean, obviously, right, some people would say, well, this is still allegations that we don't know. But if these allegations are proven accurate, what should the consequences look like, Kev? I mean, this is near and dear to your heart. Do you have any thoughts?
I mean, look, I think that there should be a class action lawsuit against the Southern Poverty Law Center, and people who were wronged should be made whole. The problem is that this is one of these things that there's nothing you can do. Those news articles will forever exist. Yeah. I mean, like I literally, like, what they said, it's forever. What they did is forever. I'll never know the person who took the bribe to put me on that list that destroyed part of my life. I'll never know who that person is. Do I think the organization should be disbanded? Yes, but then they'll just start a new one. Like,
yeah, I was going to say, like, can the organization recover after something like this, after this kind of damage to their reputation? Start fresh.
Well, no, you know what it is that they'll never, no matter, because we're so divided right now, no matter what comes out, there are going to be people who just think it's politically motivated and they're not going to care. And it's just going to go on and on and on. Like, nobody's going to, oh, what the hell is that? Sorry, I just noticed I have like a pimple. Sorry. Yeah, it's not going to stop because now people are going, oh, well, it's just Trump is a Nazi, so he's going after the Nazi hunters. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's not what happened here. So a perfect example of this. Once they put you on their hate watch map list, which I'm on, once they do that, you never come off of it. So there was a guy who was loosely associated to a member of the Ku Klux Klan who lived on Long Island. And he bought a building out in Southampton. That building is still on the SPLC's hate watch map list. Do you know what the building is now? It's a Chase Bank. Because once you get on there, you never get off. There's an industrial park, like, I don't know, maybe 3-4 miles away from my house, where like some guy made a record studio. Someone rented out the record studio and made like American History X type white nationalist metal album. That's on the list. Like, because somebody rented a studio and made some like, some 3-song LP that nobody's ever heard of. Like, they had to manufacture it. Look, I think that their funds should be seized 100%. I think we could all split $800 million. I'm sure me and Pasobic and everybody else that they put on that list is
That was a good one, Trangela. That was a good one.
I think that I what they did to people was, and they didn't care what happened next. They didn't care that after they put Charlie on their hate watch newsletter that a day later he died. They didn't care.
But it's also so dangerous too, because you're telling people that these people are bad, basically, and before they're convicted of they're not convicted of a crime. Like, you go to court, if you get convicted, they're bad, okay? But like this person, like you, like Charlie, they don't deserve to be labeled anything. And that, I mean, unfortunately, that's really the bad part. And it's kind of like, at least like back in the day, I feel like the paparazzi was really bad and like it would always label people as things, but everyone would call paparazzi bullshit. Now, if you're labeled as something, people really believe that. And that's like,
yeah.
I mean, or somebody could take a clip like we just talked about and like change it into Madeline's anti-Semitic. Like, no.
And then people want to hurt you. Yeah.
So perfect example. There was a Muslim reformer in the UK named Majid Nawaz. The Southern Poverty Law Center labeled him an anti-Muslim extremist. He was on the SPLC list as an anti-Muslim extremist, while at the same time on a terrorist watch list in the UK. So in the UK, he's labeled a terrorist, and in America, he's labeled anti-Muslim. The guy literally, he's got an incredible story. He spent like 4 years in prison because he was part of a designated terrorist organization. And then, while in jail, found the error of his ways, and now he like detransitions radical Muslims, which, England's got a bit of a problem of right now. And because of that, he got put on the anti-Muslim list of the Southern Poverty Law Center.
That is quite a story.
Like Ayaan Hirsi Ali, who fled Somalia because she didn't want to be put into an arranged marriage by her father, who underwent FGM, fled to the Netherlands, made a YouTube video called Submission. It was 12 minutes long. It was about what Islam does to women. The director of that video, Theo Van Gogh, the grandson of Vincent Van Gogh, had his head cut off in the streets of Copenhagen for making this video. She comes to America, and the Southern Poverty Law Center labels her an anti-Muslim extremist. Like, she was the victim of terrorism. She was the victim of FGM, which is like, if you do that, there ain't a fucking building high enough in the world to like, she was fled an arranged marriage and then comes to America and gets put on that sort of list. Brigitte Gabriel, the same sort of thing. Like, they don't care. You know, the SPLC is not going to criticize that father in Seattle last year who tried to kill his daughter because she wouldn't move to Iraq to be married off to a 65-year-old man. That guy's not on an extremism list. No. But the woman who had to flee Somalia to get out of an arranged marriage, had her friend get his head cut off on the street for making a YouTube video, then comes to America, is on the list. You know,
Wow.
Salman Rushdie, the same thing, anti-Muslim extremism list. The Ayatollah of Iran put out a fatwa against him in the early 80s. It took them 35 years to get revenge on that guy. And then 3 years ago, some young Muslim stabs him in the eye at a speaking event. Like, when you put people on these lists, people die because of this. And there is no repercussion. There is no restitution that can be made on it. And it's troubling.
Well, I appreciate it, Kevin. I'm sorry, that happened.
But you know what it is? I don't care because I'm a blast. I'm fun, and I'm none of those things. And I can't wait to come down to Florida so Madeline can pick me up. She can put me in one of those little papooses that they.
No, you are. And you are a blast. You're all a blast. And that's why we don't do labels. We don't do boxes. It's literally in my bio. Like,
well, whenever you're ready to re-register as a Republican, I've got your.
Actually, that would be a great. You know what? That'd be a great thing. As Bold goes on tour, we'll start Florida. We'll get people to come, and if you want to register, you can register. And we have an independent, someone that used to be a Democrat, who will tell you how to do it. If you don't want to register as a Republican, she can at least help you register the other way. Because me and Kevin will.
Let's go.
Our heart, we just can't do it.
I'll just check off the box. I'll pre-check it.
I'll take an independent over a Democrat any day.
Oh, definitely. Because guess what? If you're willing to switch from Democrat to independent, I'm going to say 9 times out of 10 you're voting Republican. Like if you're going to switch parties, if you're going to switch parties to be, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but your Trump shirt's in the mail on the way. But I think if you're going to leave a party, you're probably not going to then go vote for that party. It's just that seems.
Or what if they've never registered? There's a lot of I didn't realize how many young voters or like 20-something-year-olds that like when they turned 18, like they didn't vote.
Well, in New York, they register you your junior year of high school. So I cannot tell you how many 20-year-olds I have re-registered because their teacher was like, they were like, "What box do I?" "Oh, just check Democrat."
I'm just afraid because I think of was it the New York Post that put out that big party and I said I was jealous of being a conservative, like because me and Kevin talked about being like young Republicans and how it was not cool to be conservative. And I keep going back to that New York Post. Remember after Trump won, all the young mega hat parties like on the front page of the New York Post. And I think that there's a lot of quote unquote groypers, a lot of people that have turned on some of the stuff that's gone on. I hope Trump and this administration can turn it around and win them back. I don't know if possible. It will also depend on who the candidate is that he goes with, I think, too. I think if he goes, I think that either way, some won't go that way. But I think like Marco Rubio, I don't know if he'll get the young vote, right? I don't. I think he'll get I think JD Vance will definitely have the turning point crew, but I don't think he'll ever get like the Massey vote, right? So I don't know. But I will say this: Vance did a good job of trying to he's really tried to swim away.
I'm gonna call you after this show because I am not saying what I'm about to say publicly. However, did you that story in the Times, man? There are a lot of dots pointing in a certain direction.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, on a fun ending note, I did want to play, speaking of, you wrapped it up nicely with JD Vance on The View, also because Kevin also loves to talk about The View. We're manifesting Kevin being on The View.
Oh my God.
We're going to end with a fun little clip of his appearance on The View.
Of clean water, the lack of medical attention, the lack of education. I would urge you as a Christian and as a father to visit those detention centers where the children are being held and make sure that the conditions are up to the values that we hold in this country.
So you guys have thrown a lot at me, and I see we got 30 seconds left here. But let me say,
You're
number
the
one,
Vice President. You can go long.
I'd like to pick up on this theme because I think it's really important. We do have to strike a balance, of course, between enforcing our laws. We don't want to dehumanize people. That is the balance that, look, law enforcement, what I'd say about this, law enforcement is always inherently not a very pretty process, especially when you're dealing sometimes with violent people, with people who are resisting arrest. Some of the people that I've been told by the media were completely peaceful, had never violated any laws. You actually look into the record and you find out that those people were actually being violent, or they did have a criminal record. They had a sex trafficking conviction.
Don't have criminal records. So the majority of people that ICE is rounding up and taking out of their homes from their families, they're separating families. They're using children as bait. But the majority are not criminals.
But can I respond to that, guys? Let me just say this. Okay. So you talk about the children. Here's what I'd say. Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands of children who were sex trafficked by the cartels, who were brought into our country in profoundly dangerous and predatory conditions?
Let's talk about this administration.
But here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of conduct. You think that our immigration policies are inhumane based on the reporting of one person with a political bias. What I'm telling you is that it's inhumane to allow cartels to sex traffic people across our border. And by the way,
please hold on.
I appreciate that. We're going to get you back, Anna.
We're coming back with more with the Vice President, and I've got.
It's like,
I love that. They don't have criminal records. I came in the country illegally. Like, I didn't have a criminal. Oh, well, they're nonviolent. Well, so is a Dewey. Like, so is speaking Pashto and not being able to read street signs. Like, and then making a U-turn on a California highway. Like, that's a nonviolent crime. We have an outsized view of people that are on televisions. Maybe it's because their heads are bigger, but like, that is a collection of the stupidest people in America. And Sonny
that's
Houston
what scares me about like 2028 Gavin Newsom. Like Gavin Newsom definitely lives in order. Like, I think the left, they have to take a very progressive, like they're gonna have to go progressive to win this, to win 2028. Because, and I think I'm scared to death of that because I do believe our borders will be open again, and we haven't even gotten rid of 30% of what Biden let in.
If there is an economic populace who is non-woke, that would be the most dangerous candidate to me in 2028 for the Democrats, like a Ro Khanna, because like he's slick, he doesn't seem like an asshole, he's an economic populist. He's got that sort of economic socialism, trillionaire shouldn't exist sort of mentality.
I think somebody like a Jamie Dimon would screw. Like he would be another one. That
Jamie
would be.
Dimon. I mean, yeah. I don't think the left would ever vote for the guy that runs a bank.
There's
plus,
there's talk. It's like people like Jamie Dimon though that have been hit for the run. I know that.
Well, I'll tell you who I think could make some serious waves. Who is definitely running for president, except continues to say he isn't, Rahm Emanuel. Because, first off, Rahm Emanuel, just from like a personality perspective, he will stomp on every one of these. Because Rahm Emanuel will take no shit. He is a Chicago guy through and through, a neighborhood guy, even though he's a trust fund baby.
You just think of ramen noodles every time you say his name.
Well, here we go.
I want to vote for him just because of that.
Well, you know what? Perfect example. I'll tell you what kind of guy Rahm Emanuel is, how he grew up.
Here we go.
The character of Ari Gold is based on his brother.
Wow.
So, like I said, I was like, look, if Spencer Pratt don't win, we need to run Jeremy Piven as Ari Gold for mayor. Like, we need to run the character. And I think Rahm Emanuel can make a serious dent in this Samantha George, she's very upset with us. I'm reading the chat, but I think Rahm Emanuel can make a huge dent.
Yeah.
And he's definitely not running for president. He only put out a 6-point plan on how to fix American education.
I'm curious. It's going to be one of them. It's going to be, and I don't mean on a ticket. I just mean in general. We're going to see somebody like a Tucker, a Massey, or a Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're going to see one of them try, I think, to, I know all of them have been, I know a few of them have been like paid money and polled. Massey for sure has, to see how he did. Nationally, he didn't poll well back in like December when they were running it. But fast forward to now, the polls have very much shifted and changed. I don't know if that's like in the cards, but I think it'll be very interesting because I think really depending on Trump, like what this administration does these like through midterms will really if Trump, and I think Trump knows that, which is why I think something had to change with the Iran war, because I think if something doesn't change, he knows that there's a chance his candidate may not win come the primary for president.
And, you know, the way the primaries are, like the winner take all states, I think it could be very difficult for an outside candidate like that to win without Trump's support, just because you can do the winner take all and then
100%.
win
And
with
I
30%.
think that's why people don't want to do it. I think Massey would just do it to annoy the shit out of.
I could see like a Tulsi Joe Kent ticket.
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, look, Tulsi was the darling of the Democratic Party. She was the up and comer in 2012. She headlined the RNC. You know, she's hot. She's a veteran. Like she's got.
But her husband. It will all depend on what happens with her husband. I think.
Yeah. But I mean, she's got all the tools to be like, look, you guys are done with partisan politics. I've done them both. It's all bullshit. You know, you could see that kind of. You could feel that sort of vibe coming out.
Which I think resonates with a lot of people right now.
But you know what? It sucks because
I'm interested to see who the Israel candidate. Like, okay, who do you think? Because they like Ron DeSantis was, again, everyone loves to remember Trump as like the pro-Israel, but when Ron DeSantis was running, like Rubin and like Ben Shapiro, all of them backed Ron DeSantis until it was too late, until they had to get behind Trump.
Oh,
I'm curious who the pro-Israel crowd will
Randy
front.
Fine. I know, but
what a fucking joke. That's worse than no way.
Yeah, Randy Fine. Randy Fine, look, he's down like 40 pounds. He's gonna run. But you know, I think that, and Megyn Kelly actually brought this up the other day. She brought it up today with JD about how all the people that are like riding Trump over Iran were all the people that hated him, that were Ted Cruz in 2016, that were DeSantis in 24,
Lindsey Graham,
Mark Levin, Mark Levin's. I have like a standing rule that if Mark Levin wants it, I don't.
God, that guy sucks so bad.
He sucks. What are you, stupid? Like, look, I just want to be like, look, Mark, I get it. You're on the radio. And if it was 1987, that would be, I haven't turned the radio on in my car in like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't. Like, I don't. ABC radio? Like, no. I was on ABC radio. I didn't listen to it. I was on it. I wouldn't listen. But like, that era is like, that cold warrior is a real dying breed, and as they go, so will the housing market, where I will buy up all my Long Island beachfront property.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting. Watching JD on The View definitely reinforced something that I've learned, which is that Republicans are far more willing to come into these hostile sort of media environments and have the tough conversations than Democrats are. You've heard me say it, right? We try to get liberals and whatever on the podcast. It's tough, and it's something Bill Maher talks about all the time. So I mean,
which is funny because if you're that liberal that's willing to go on, you can get unbelievably famous. If you look at all like the kids, like Dean Weathers, or Luke, whatever they that little crew of all like the 24-year-olds who like once touched a boob, and like begged for nudes on Snapchat, or Brian Shapiro, who I fucking hate, that erudite chick. She's a big Democrat. But if you're one of those Democrats, you can make a great career just by going on conservative shows because no one's willing to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Shapiro's retarded, and he's on Piers Morgan like twice a week.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, well, I posted on X today. I'm like, what's that about? Like, why not? You know?
And who do you think's going to be ran? You hear our take. Last thing, who do you think's going to be like, who do you think besides Gavin Newsom would be like a good one for the Democrats, or even in like independent, or like just a different choice?
I don't know. I mean, I always hear AOC's name thrown around, you know?
God,
yeah.
Please.
Please. And I do think a lot of people on the left would be behind that for sure, because the left is mostly very progressive, etc. But I don't know who I would actually be excited about yet. Like, that has yet for me to be seen.
She is so unimpressive. Like, she is proof that you can really make it in America without having any real talent. Like,
it's all luck.
You know, look, she won one primary where she got 13,000 votes in Astoria. Like, she's not like a global sensation. Like, I don't know if she can carry a state like that. Also, like, I don't know if she's ever actually really been tested against. Look, say what you will about Gavin Newsom. He is a great politician. He is, and I mean that in every negative connotation. That man is the slipperiest, like, just Bob.
Yeah, he's slick as shit. Yeah.
I mean, there's a clip of him on Adam Carolla like 15 years ago where Carolla corners him like 30 times. And he just finds a way out of it. It is, if you're in politics and you actually study politics, this Carolla clip is unbelievable. They should like teach it in PR classes. Like, AOC's never had to deal with that. She ran against Joe Crowley, who's like, he died like 3 days after the election. Like, and she was young and she was vibrant. And she's kind of hot. And like, you know, she's got that, and she's DC hot. And compared to Joe Crowley, like, she got that funny little video of her bopping around at Boston College, like on the roof where she's dancing like the Breakfast Club. Like, she's great on Instagram. She's never been tested in a real Democratic primary. I think astute politicians, Rahm Emanuel, Pritzker, Whitmer would eat her alive on a debate stage.
I would be definitely interested to see that. I do think there's something about her, obviously, that really appeals to people, and myself prior day included. Like, I do think that she's really like quick and witty, and she's well spoken, and she comes across, really intelligent, and
now I think she's
and like charming. Like, there is some that, for not obviously to you guys.
No, I think she's a phenomenal. I think she's a great vice presidential candidate. I think that whoever the Democratic nominee is would be very smart to pick her as the vice president. Mm-hmm. You pull in that sort of young vote. You draw in the Mamdani crowd.
Right.
I think that would be politically. I think that would be a great decision for the Democrats. I think they should.
Well, I think that's why she would run for president, because I feel like a lot of people, you run for president and then you bail out because you're going to take second chair. Like, you're going to be like, all right, I'll be your ticket.
Yeah. I just think about that.
She has to prove herself, though. That's why I was saying, like, I could see her just stepping up, but I don't know. She's a lot.
Yeah, we're doing the Hunter.
Oh my God, we didn't even get to that. Holy shit! Like,
I'm assuming that's what Greek is talking about.
You have a Twitter crush.
I have a Twitter crush.
Yeah. Madeline, did you not see this? Who's been corresponding routinely with Angela on Twitter?
No.
A great guy, phenomenal guy, family man. always the life of the party, shitload of money and huge political connections. Angela, what was his name again?
It starts with an H.
And ends with Hunter Biden.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Love that. Wait, I hope you have him on here. Like, are you going to do a sit down with him?
I mean, I'll try. I know Kevin already said you want to debate him, right?
1,000%. First off, like, I just want, like,
that was
look,
the first thing, yeah, you were like,
look, I will say this and take it for what it is, but like, there was a 10-year period there where I bet Hunter Biden was a fucking blast to hang out with. Like, he was probably so much fun. Like, the drugs and the women were probably unbelievable. Like, he probably paid for everything. But yeah, he's doing like the podcast tour now. And he suggested that he would be Gavin Newsom's vice presidential candidate. Oh, I just want to be like, oh, Hunter, can you paint me something?
Oh my God,
Like,
I would love for him to come on Bold. Oh
I
my
would
God.
well,
I mean,
You should do a one-on-one with him.
Yeah. I mean,
well, time out.
I would love to.
That would be the first time Hunter,
Kevin's like, I need to.
that would be the first time Hunter Biden was clothed on camera in about 20 years.
What do you mean? He just sat down with your best friend Candace like a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, right. Ladies, find you someone who looks at you the way Candace Owens looked at Hunter Biden. It's like, ooh, someone slightly richer than my husband and not gay.
No, I mean, from a mental health standpoint, I would obviously really like to chat with him about all of that and addiction and like all, Kevin's approach would obviously be different.
No, you picked the most boring.
I feel like it's only me and you that ever talk about. Like, I'm only one of the only people that will actually advocate or say anything, go down that route with you. Republicans, we do tend to stay away from that unless we're just bitching about the homeless, because we tend to bitch about the homelessness and the border and bringing over that. We should try to create a solution though for that.
Believe me, I live on the heroin highway. Like, yeah. I mean, addiction. Look, I would take Richard Sackler and I would cut him. I think he's one of the most evil human beings that's ever lived. The CEO of Purdue Pharma, for what he did, and it's. Believe me, I'm the one person, and like I'll call him a crackhead because like I'm a dick, but like addiction is. I don't think that's something that you should really hit people on. Now, regular people, I obviously never would, but like when you're Hunter Biden and you're out there like profiting off of American trade secrets,
I give him a lot of props though for taking shit and like going on. Like it takes a lot of like because there's a lot of shame. I'm sure you can tell he wears a lot of shame. Like, that's why he's going out there and he's saying, look, I am ashamed. Like, this is what I did. There is a lot of shame. And I think that it's incredible. It's one time you'll ever hear me say this with Hunter Biden in the same sentence. I think it's incredibly brave for anybody like Hunter Biden, anybody to go out there and talk about that because it's a very hard topic. It's always taboo. And it's, if he can go out there and raise awareness just for not making it taboo, then, especially with who he is, then good for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know what? I'm happy that he's clean. I'm happy that he got his shit together. Every one of us has dealt with addiction in that sort of sense. And, in that regard, it's great. I will say this though, that, if
Kevin's pissed he wasn't invited to your parties, but
yeah, come on, bro. But I would have held the camera for you. But if I die and my brother starts fooling around with my wife, I'm gonna come back to life and fucking haunt them until the day they die. Like
it is weird.
That to me is like the most low brow. Like, you want to bang as many hookers as you want. You want to smoke crack and have a whatever. Your dead brother's wife, man. Like, that's just so.
It's weird.
That's so wrong, bro.
I was really hoping it was probably off.
And just to be clear, she's just as at fault, maybe more. Like, I don't know.
I was really hoping that. What about his daughter Navy? There's like that mistress that he had, and he has that. He has a little girl that when Biden was running, they would not acknowledge this little girl, Navy, and the mom came out and wrote a book. I don't want to say anything like bad about her, but I'm pretty sure like she was obviously like looking for a good time. Like
She was a
it's not
stripper.
like, yeah, she was like an escort or a stripper. But I think like there's a lot of things there like that he'd have to unpack in order for him to ever really go the political route.
I don't think he ever actually would.
Yeah.
But then again, like someone like that has never really had to work. The one thing I hated about the Hunter Biden thing is how they treated him like a child. They were like, "Oh, Joe Biden's son. Joe Biden's son." He's like 56 years old. Like,
well, I think he's also trying to defend his dad's legacy. I think Joe Biden, I will say this, Joe Biden was is a name that will be remembered in DC. He was around forever before he was president, and whether he should never have became president is another story. But at the same time, I feel like Hunter feels like he has to go on and defend his father after like what Nancy Pelosi and what they did to him to basically like kick him out. I think that was horrible.
And I don't blame him for that at all. Like, you stand by
I think
because
like, that was a loyalty thing.
They screwed. Look, I mean, it's also an addiction to power. Yeah. Whether it's Joe Biden, whether it's McConnell, whether it's Dianne Feinstein or any of these other Pat Leahy or any of these dinosaurs that just want. I mean, look, we might lose a Senate race in Maine to a Nazi like sex cretin because Susan Collins will not give it up. You're 2,000 years old. Like, you don't need to be in the Senate anymore. But yet, sure enough, like.
Look at Mitch McConnell. He just was hospitalized this week.
Well, the only reason why I'll give McConnell a pass is because of Andy Bashir. Like, if McConnell steps down, then we get a Democratic senator in Kentucky. But you should never, I don't know. Do we want age limits? Is that ageist? I don't know. But like,
we'll never get term limits. So age limits and capped races would be our only hope for anything like that, because you're never going to get term limits.
Yeah, like, and it makes it seem like a joke. It makes it seem less relevant. Like when I see, and look, I'll take a Republican, so it's nonpartisan. What the hell's the guy's name? Chuck Grassley. He's 91, and he sits on a committee that discusses AI. Go tell your great-grandmother about what Anthropic does and just let me know how that goes. Like, I got family members that are in their 70s that send me pictures and they're like, did you see like that? Like, they have 3 eyes. It's clearly not real. Like, it was like those Facebook hearings. It's like, so Facebook, it's like a book of faces. Like, no, it's an ad company that steals all your data while you think you're just checking in to see if your ex-girlfriend got fat. Like, that's what Facebook is. But seeing these like octogenarians, and now like I don't even know what 90-year-olds are called. If octogenarians are 80, what is a 90-year-old? Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Sorry, old people.
No, I completely agree.
What are you giggling about over there?
Just the run on us poor Ange, like you and I get on here and we just like completely take over in our run on like ideas. Angela's just like, fuck, where are they going with this now?
No, you guys can. I love it. I love to hear. I love it. It just, you guys just roll with it. So many.
I didn't get an eye roll today, so I'm a little disappointed.
Are you sure?
I think you got. I don't know. I bet you if we roll it back, there's at least one.
Yeah.
Or two.
I bet when I make clips, there we'll catch some.
Yo, hold on.
I'm pretty sure when you told me like something about Turning Point or Erica Kirk, you got something.
I love when I'm scrolling and I see one of your clips has gone viral of me, and I go in the comments and I'm just like, "Hi everyone, I'm the guy who said this. Give me a follow over at loudmajorityusa.com." Yeah.
Well, my favorite is when people call me and tell me like, "Oh my god, I saw you on TikTok," and then I'm like, "You don't have a TikTok." I'm like, I'll get there, guys. I'll get there. But like, they're like, you're on TikTok. Like, we see you all the time. Like, you come up on my feed all the time, and I'm like,
today my brother sent me my own Instagram, and he was like, "Yo, check this out." And I was like, "Oh, you didn't watch it all the way to the end." I'm like, "You didn't watch it all the way to the end." And he goes, "Why?" And I was like, "Watch it to the end, dickhead." And it was like me commenting on like some, like, oh, there's like some girl that was like, the best part about being a hot liberal girl is Republicans can't handle it. And I was like, I can't wait till you're ugly. Like, I forgot even what I said, but my brother was like, "Holy shit, that was you." I was like, "Yeah, moron." Like,
also goes to Ange and everyone that runs podcasts and clips and reels, because they're a bitch to make. Like, thank God I have someone that does them for my clients, because I'm like, when I do them, I'm like, wow, this takes a lot of time.
It is definitely time consuming, and I have help. So because it's a lot. People don't realize, you know.
Yeah.
But
Angela went to the Hunter Biden School of video clipping, so I saw that, and then I jumped in his comments, and he responded to me too. I was like, "Ha, got another one."
It was a fun time for sure. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can get him on. We'll see what's up. I'll try to to keep talking to him or whatever. But that was cool. It was fun. Guys, it's always the best. We got to get Madeline get some rest. She's got some stuff going on tomorrow. I appreciate you so much. Madeline is such a badass. Girls, like, doesn't matter if she's sick, in pain, she's here and she's on. And I really missed you guys, and there was so much to cover, and I needed to know all of your thoughts on all of the things. And
for someone who had a root canal, you certainly did a lot of talking.
I know. I was just thinking that. I was like, well, I also was numbed, and I took like 3 or 4 Motrin before I came down here to like make sure.
We didn't get any good anesthesia videos. Like, those are my favorite on Instagram.
Those are funny.
Those are so funny. Like,
they're really good.
We're gonna plan it, and I think Bold's gonna be. I think Bold and Loud Majority, and then just me tagging along. We'll get Jay to tag along too. But I think it would be really fun. We're gonna plan something, and everyone can come. We should put it out. Like, where should we go, guys? Florida. We'll start in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, there's
coming
only
to a city near you.
There's only 3 places in Florida. There's Disney, there's Miami, and then there's everywhere else. So we're gonna have to work it all out. Everyone,
we will.
I'm in Boynton Beach. I'm in Cape Coral. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck any of that is. I need to get like a map, like a conspiracy map, and like put little dots with yarn to figure out when I'm going to go visit everybody. Like, I got to go to Conservative Ant's place. I got to stop at Patrick Bet David's studio. I got to go.
Yeah, you got to map it out.
I got to go to the Clevelander. Hello.
Well, Trangela said, ibuprofen, you need a cooler dentist. Well, guys, I appreciate you. I heart you so much. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. Thank you for everything. Everybody follow them. Madeline Elizabeth, you'll see her on TikTok. You'll see her pop up. Now that we're talking about it too, she's gonna be all over your talk.
I'm gonna go start TikToking now that it may be because of that I'm anti-Semitic. That thanks to Angela posted that clip, they may get me on TikTok. I really avoided that, but when you try to be, I'm gonna come for you, and I'm gonna get on there and go.
I cannot wait to see Madeline doing like choreographed TikTok dances, like.
I don't know if I can do that shit, but like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
My daughter loves to do it. My daughter's like, Mommy, let's TikTok. I'm like,
aw. Yeah. Yes. Well, you're super fun to follow on socials regardless. So
yeah.
Everybody follow her and Kevin Smith, The Loud Majority, every day at 3 p.m. Eastern. Anything else you got, Kev, you want to shout out?
Miss you guys.
Miss you guys. I know.
You're the best. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. It's always so much fun. Good night, nerds. Thanks. Everybody follow them. Show them all the love, guys. Madeline, thank you so much. Get some rest.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, guys. Good night. Thank you all so much for being here. You're the best. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for keeping the chat going. Always love seeing your thoughts, your questions, your comments. And yeah, just appreciate the support. Please follow those guys on the panel, Madeline and Kevin. You know them, you love them. I definitely love them. And I do hope that our in-person meeting happens sometime soon, sooner rather than later. We've been talking about it for a while. Guys, thank you so much. I know this was kind of a longer one too, but we had a lot to cover. I had some stuff going on last week, so I missed you. I hope you enjoyed being with us today. We will have a special interview, Bold Voices, on Thursday with Candace Horbach. I did an interview with her, and we'll be airing that on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So definitely check for that. It is a great interview. I had a great time chatting with her. So we're going to release that interview with Candace Horbach on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, our normal Bold Voices time. And then we'll be back in action again next week on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Thanks for all the love. Thanks for all the support. And as Greek said, you know, we got to stay bold. So keep it bold. And thanks for all the love. And again, yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. Couldn't do it without you. Thanks so much. Take care. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And keep it bold.